Now, a houseboy named Chikuku reported seeing a bush on fire. Out of curiosity and concern, akasongea karibu to investigate. What he discovered was disturbing, guys. A human body burning. Yeah, mwili ulikuwa unachomeka. The fire appeared to be concentrated on the chest and the smoke was coming out through the nose na mapua. Around the body kulikuwa na several unusual items. Number 1, jerrycans 5 liter, handkerchiefs, a gun, and even a Somali sword. Chikuku immediately alerted the authorities, who later confirmed that this was Kenyan Foreign Minister then, Dr. Robert Ouko. But to understand this moment, able to rewind, we need to go back about a week or two earlier. A week or two earlier, at that time, President of Kenya was Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi, alongside with a delegation of 83 delegates. 83 delegates, yes, 83. Traveled all the way to the United States as they had been invited by President George W. Bush to attend a national prayer breakfast. Yeah, azikwangi huko peke yake hata huko. Lakini watu 83 kwenda kuomba, guys. Na waliomba siku 8. Yeah, they stayed there for like 8 days. While in the United States, it is said that Ouko received significant attention and respect, so much that some members of the delegation thought he was being treated like the head of state. Yeah. This was because Ouko was so eloquent.
President, His Excellency Daniel Arap Moi, has done to Kenya more than any other person could have done. He has put me in charge of this ministry to assist him in creating, portraying, protecting a favorable image of Kenya outside Kenya. I've done this with great joy because the real task is being done by the President himself. After he has cleared the air around the world for Kenya, I just go around to see if there's any doubt.
And he was so blatantly honest. He was saying things as they were, which akina Moi they were not. So it is wazungu wanapenda honest man. Yeah. So Ouko was being treated with much more respect than even the president himself. Some members of the delegation even were starting mocking him. Akina Biwot walikuwa naita Robert Ouko Mr. President, because apparently he was undermining President Moi. Now this tension appears to imewafuata all the way back home. When the delegation returned back home after 8 days here, the 83 delegation, haikuanza jana maneno. Ouko did not come back with the others. He arrived a day later. Unaona? Upon arrival, and he is the Minister for Foreign Affairs, his passport was reportedly taken away from him at the airport by immigration officers. After returning to Kenya, Robert Ouko is said to have visited Ezekiel Oyugi, who was the Minister for Interior at that time. And then President Moi apparently advised Robert to take some time off. In politics, that means we are tenga iniwe tunakuachanisha. Later that same day, Ouko traveled to his rural home in Koru near Kisumu. Witness accounts suggest that he appeared visibly disturbed and unusual. He even dismissed his 4 bodyguards, that is security, something that, mbona, raised concern, and he was walking around with 2 briefcases. At one point, he was planning to return to Nairobi, as he had told his wife. During this time, he said that he was supposed to drive to Nairobi and then fly back to Nairobi. It is alleged that he was involved in a vehicle problem or an accident and ended up hitching a ride on a tractor. Interestingly, unaona truck driver? Yeah, alipatikana akiwa days later under very unclear circumstances. Now, on 12th February 1990, relatives visited Ouko at his home. They had dinner together and the relatives left at around 10 p.m. That night will be the last confirmed time he was seen. On the 13th, Ouko was still missing. The family raised concern and started looking for him. There was a woman named Selina who was there was a staff member of Ouko who was named Selina. Allegedly, he was involved with her. She later claimed that she saw a vehicle outside its compound that night, and her account added to the mystery, especially because later she would fake her death for a number of years. Amekuja kutokea juzi, like 2015. Yeah, she faked her death all those years. A separate story for another day. Hiyo ni maswali ingine, hiyo nitawaelezea siku ingine. For 3 days there was no sign of Dr. Ouko. His wife raised concern and contacted Dr. John Anguka, the then district commissioner for Nakuru, who was also a close friend to Robert. Now, Dr. John Anguka, his wife Susan Anguka, worked closely with the Ouko. Susan was the PA to Ouko. Now they were really close friends, because even John getting that to work, it's Ouko who proposed him to the president. You see? Now, Anguka decided to go to the home of the doctor. Now let's return to Got Alila now. Unaona kwa ile Shikuku akipata ile mwili. Now let's return up. A man who Shikuku noticed a fire, went to investigate. What he found horrifying, and of course a human body. Authorities wakaitwa, and then later the body was found out to be Robert Ouko. Now of all foreign minister, amechomwa guys, he has been murdered that, yeah. Investigators described the scene as deeply disturbing. Walisema, sijaona kitu kaa hiyo. Ouko had been shot in the head, hapa. One of his leg was badly broken twice. His body had been set on fire using what appeared to be diesel. Now, diesel burns slowly. Si kama petrol burns faster. So, diesel ita burn pole pole tu. So, it was burning inside. Ikitokanga. Around the body kulikuwa na hizo several items nimesema. Matches, a jerrycan, other personal effects, all belonging to Dr. Ouko. The arrangement of these items made the scene ikae stage. Umeona sasa? Like hizi vitu zilikuwa zake. Despite the evidence, the initial police position suggested suicide. Kasema amejua. Alijishoot, alafu akachukua mafuta, akajimwagia, alafu akajiwasha. By the way, the conclusion sparked immediate public outrage. Many Kenyans rejected the idea. Na kukakuwa na maandamano Kisumu hivi. The first maandamano yenye questioning how someone could shoot himself, break him. Alijivunja pia miguu. Alijivunja miguu mara mbili, then set himself on fire. President Moi addressed the nation, obvious through KBC, promising that no stone will be left untouched and they will scorch the earth to find nani aliua huko. Nani huyo? That was a good friend of mine. Nani ameua doctor? Due to the pressure and the way the public did not trust Kenyan police, investigators from the United Kingdom, including detectives from Scotland Yard, were brought in. The investigation was led by one Scotland Yard detective, Superintendent John Trun. As the investigation proceeds, the lead detective, huyo John Trun, akaanza kuchimba sasa. He was like, I'm going to dig deep. Because apparently, when he reached hapa, akasoma ile evidence, alijua mtajijua. But, akaenda kwa DPP Oyugi told him, hii ni suicide. Akamwambia, I will uncover the truth. And what we uncovered was really alarming. His investigation started pointing out toward some of the powerful individuals in Kenya at the time. Among them was Nicholas Biwott, who was the minister for energy. Yeah, guys, Biwott, total man. Yeah, Ruby's man. And even raised difficult questions around the government of President Moi. Yeah. Hii investigation will lead to watu wawili, the president and his minister for energy. But he raised a very critical question. Nani sasa ata challenge the president? Who is going to challenge Biwott also? Tuanzie hapo. Shida si kuwapata, shida ni nani? As Trun continued his work, he was met with resistance kila mahali. Witnesses wakaanza tu kudisappear. Mmoja. Some wanakufa under very mysterious circumstances. Others were intimidated into silence. At one point, Trun himself, he was poisoned akiwa Kisumu. He was poisoned and nearly died. This disturbing pattern, he began to emerge. Ikali to hii kesi kuanza kustall. The case was stalling. There was no, you understand? And then like someone, a senior police official named Philip Mlay Kilonzo, who was the police commissioner at that time, died in his own hotel after being poisoned. Yeah, alikuwa anakunywa white cup, kwenda kurudi hivi. Hata akasema hii pombe inaonja different. Na akazirai, and that was it in Matu. His own hotel, guys. His burial was carried out quickly with no postmortem. Haraka, faster. Like also, the then the Minister for Internal Security. Also, he had He had an illness and the government could not allow him to go to London, and he died, and he was buried hurriedly within 72 hours. Seems familiar. And then after all these witnesses were dying, and John Troon gave out his report, he flew back to Scotland. The Kenyan they decided to charge one person. That is the district commissioner, John Anguka, because his wife Susan Anguka worked closely with Ouko. She was the PA to Ouko. A theory was developed that Anguka, the wife, had an affair, and Anguka, the husband, killed Ouko because of the affair. Anguka was arrested and charged, and he spent over 1,000 days in prison. However, he was eventually cleared of all charges due to lack of evidence. After his release, he fled the country and later settled in the United States at Los Angeles. Alisema, acha niende. With witnesses dying, evidence disappearing, key suspects either silenced, wengine wameuliwa, wengine wameumizwa, the investigation obviously itaanza kufall apart. Hatuna evidence, bila evidence sasa you see, mambo ya serikali. The case slowly collapsed under the weight of fear, interference, or unanswered question. Guys, it was really that bad. Other main theories, you see, like when justice fails, what takes over? It's conspiracy theories. And there are three main theories of what actually happened to Dr. Robert Ouko. It's a political assassination. This theory suggests that Robert was killed because he was a political threat or had conflicts with powerful individuals within the government. Like walikuwa na jamaa venye anaendosiwa na wasi wa majuu, he might later on come and overthrow the government. And Robert himself is said to President Moi that he was his friend and he loved Kanu so much that he will never do that. Another theory claims that the killing was driven by personal issues, including your alleged relationship and jealousy. Though this was weekend after John Anguka was acquitted, and John amesemanga tu everywhere he goes that huyu alikuwa beshte yangu, like hata sikuwa na reason, and then pia hakuwa na resources. You see, the cover up had the resources that were used in the cover up. Now the third theory suggests that this is a large one, that he was killed because he was trying to show corruption in the new molasses factory to be built, explaining the pattern of why that kuna officials wangalambishwa and shit. So this theory suggests that Robert was taken from his home, taken to State House Nakuru, where he was killed, and later where he was tortured and killed, and akapeana evidence, and then later akaletwa Gotalel ndiali akachomewa hapo, but alikuwa shakufa. In the end, the death of Robert Ouko remains unsolved. Imagine a whole minister, your death is unsolved. What we are left with is not just a mystery, but a pattern of witness silencing, evidence lost, and truth buried. Now, the main reason as to why I decided to tell this story is because if we keep silence about such kind of cases, they will continue to happen. Even right now, they are happening. 40 years later, this case forces us to ask difficult questions about power, justice, and accountability in this country. And perhaps the most important question is, will the truth ever be known? Guys, if unataka story ingine, just comment below and we'll do it.